Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, FHLBNY filings are showing a board member exit due to a merger, and this move signals shifting industry tides. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The departure of a key director, triggered by a merger of member banks, tells us a story about consolidation and the changing landscape of financial institutions. We are looking at a document filed by the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York, which is FHLBNY for short. Form 8K, which is like a current report, tells us about significant events that shareholders should know about. The important date here is the 20th of July 2026. This is when the main event we are discussing happened. The company filing this is the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York. Think of it as a bank for other banks, providing them with funds and services. It is a federally chartered corporation, meaning it was established by the US federal government. Their main office is in New York City. The phone number is listed, but honestly, we are more interested in the substance of the filing than their phone number. The filing falls under item 5.02, which usually means there has been a change in the company's leadership, like a director leaving or a new officer being appointed. This is the core of the story. Stephen M. Klein, who was a director representing member banks, had to resign. Why? Because Northfield Bank, where he was a top executive and through which he qualified to be a director, merged with Columbia Bank. After this merger, Northfield Bank is no longer a member of FHLBNY. The rules of FHLBNY state that its directors who represent member banks must actually be officers or directors of a member bank. Since Northfield Bank is no longer a member after its merger, Mr. Klein no longer meets the requirements to be on the board. So he had to resign. This is a clear example of how regulations and corporate structures impact leadership. The merger of Northfield Bank into Columbia Bank is the key event driving this change. It shows us that the banking industry, even at the regional and member bank level, is a place of ongoing consolidation. These mergers can have ripple effects, impacting not just the companies directly involved, but also the organizations they are members of. Like FHLBNY, it is a reminder that in business, relationships and memberships are dependent on the underlying entities remaining viable and fitting the required structures. For FHLBNY, losing a member bank means they might adjust their strategies or look for new members to maintain their operational strength. This filing, while simple, highlights a common theme in corporate finance mergers and acquisitions leading to structural changes. So, the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York had a director step down because of a merger elsewhere. Nothing earth-shattering financially, but it gives us a glimpse into the operational mechanics and regulatory environment of these financial institutions. It is less about dramatic financial swings and more about the nuts and bolts of how these organizations stay compliant and functional. The report was officially signed a few days later on the 24th of July 2026, but the event itself took place on the 20th of July. The filing was signed by Brinda Bhattacharjee. Her name is Brinda Bhattacharjee, and she holds a very important position, Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. This tells us that such leadership changes are important enough to be reported by the CFO or someone with similar authority. Ultimately, this filing is about a structural consequence of a merger. FHLBNY is solid, and this event, while triggering a board change, does not appear to be a sign of financial distress. It is more of a standard corporate governance update in response to industry consolidation. The key takeaway is that these member-based organizations are directly impacted by the mergers and acquisitions happening in the broader banking sector. The research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If you found this insight helpful, please like this video, subscribe for more, and join our growing community on Discord, linked below.